Joining now from just outside Washington is Arthur Dong. He's a teaching professor at Georgetown University's McDonough School of Business. So we just heard from Nathan there in Anchorage. This first part of the meeting seems to be going a little longer than initially scheduled. What are you making out of what you're seeing so far and what you've been hearing?
Well, I think what I'm making, and thank you, Elaine, for having me on again. What I'm making so far is both sides have tempered expectations in terms of anything major being stated. I think both sides are being quite frank and putting their cards on the table, expressing their primary concerns from both sides about the challenges that lie before them. The fact that these meetings are, again, stretching beyond their intended time frames, I mean, certainly there's a lot to talk about. Also, I think China making the interesting point that you shouldn't throw stones if you live in a glass house. In other words, get your own house in order before you start pointing your fingers at us. And so, the United States is caught in a period of turmoil, starting with the events of January 6th. And the American side may be believing that China wants to take advantage of it, seeing some degree of weakness or disharmony within American society.
What do you think about the format of these discussions? We have 2 segments and then a long break for dinner. Face-to-face talks, yes, but not a lot of together getting to know you time with these 2 groups.
Yeah, I think this is the first opportunity that the new Biden administration has had in terms of opening an official dialogue with their Chinese counterparts. And so just like any relationship, every 4 years, we have a new election in the United States. And when there's a change in leadership and certainly a change in political party, it's almost like you're starting again from square one. And so there has to be a feeling out of both sides, sort of get a sense of the temperature of both sides. But again, I would caution that perhaps not a lot is going to be made in this initial discussion, but at least it lays the foundation for more discussion to come.
Yeah, you and I have talked about some of the more contentious issues that we know will be addressed during these meetings, but is there 1 or 2 things that you really hope to hear when it comes to trade and the economy? Because we do have the world's 2 largest economies sitting down talking during a pandemic.
Yeah, I think the 2 top issues from a trade perspective for the United States is they would like to see more balanced and fair trade. At the same time, they would perhaps like to see a more serious talk and discussion about intellectual property and the transfer and protection of intellectual property. But it's not like there aren't any bright signs on the horizon. We have seen in the last 6 months an uptick in the importation of American farm products, and even farmers are actually tilling their fields and planting more corn, in expectation that these orders from China will continue to, increase. At the same time, we're starting to see, as a result of Xi Jinping's new policies, the sort of shift from a supply side priority to demand side priority, which is something American economists have been asking for a long time. And so these 2 things in combination, it does seem that there are some actions at least being taken on China's part to try to perhaps put this relationship in the right direction.
About 45 seconds left, but you mentioned a few bright spots. Do you think that will still remain when the U.S. came to the table with new sanctions over Hong Kong, adding to the pile of what they've already done? And then you add Blinken's recent meetings with Japan and South Korea. So already there's not a great optimistic feeling just heading into the talks.
Yeah, it's always the timing of these developments that always are unmistakably, send a signal in the opposite direction. Yes, a number of companies were named as being under possible sanctions, as well as a new initiative that's being pushed through by the Senate to reset permanent normal trade relationships with China, making that sort of initiative a yearly initiative rather than a permanent initiative. So all these things taken in combination, don't give you a lot of confidence that that we're going to bridge this divide anytime soon.
All right, great to hear your take again, Arthur Dong. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you, Elaine.